Give me the hot sauce.
Oh, yeah, it is time for episode 23 of Gimme the Hot Sauce, starring the one and only Stacey King. We've got some guests in the Nautilus studio today. They are Stacey's dogs. Kobe Kai and Brixton are here, so if you hear any heavy breathing, it's not Timmy Whispers, it's probably the dogs.
It's not my cardboard cutout.
Yes, we got two superstars in the building.
Dogs are well taken care of. They got their individual bone to chew on, and they're ready to go. Think they can make it through the whole show, Stace?
I hope so. I just hope they don't do those little doggy meat farts. If they can, if we can go a whole show without that, that would be awesome.
And for those of you watching on YouTube, we've got some brand new lighting. I want to thank our guy Jesse Leby for coming in. Did a nice job. We almost look lifelike now. You know, we finally got it figured out. Timmy Whispers doesn't look like a cardboard cutout anymore.
Oh, wow.
Still look like Larry the Lobster.
He's still red or pink.
What'd you call him? Not Jimmy Stewart. What'd you call him earlier?
Oh, yeah, it was Jimmy Stewart, the racer. Because he has a racing shirt on. His little McLaren
little
Renault. Look at it.
That's Jackie Stewart. Jimmy Stewart's
Jackie Stewart.
Yeah,
Jackie Stewart. Not Jimmy Stewart. Jackie Stewart. But he looks like Jimmy Stewart, too. A young Jimmy Stewart.
It's a Wonderful Life. Singer.
Yeah. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, right?
What's the other one?
It's a Wonderful Life.
No, there was another one. There was another one he played. No, that was God.
Well, we'll give you some time to think about it.
we got to keep
we set up the show. I want to thank our
I
great
like y'all's attitude, first of all, okay? Because I'm having an old man moment right now where I just lost my train of thought.
Well, that's why we just want to keep moving forward.
That was the name of the
See how
film.
you treat older people?
Yeah.
That was the name of that last film,
Boy,
wasn't
you're
it?
bad, man.
Hey, we want to thank our great sponsors at Bubble Up. It's the Cloud Reimagined, the new way to visually organize any kind of content all in one place. And our guy Stacey's always in search for the next sponsor here at Give Me the Hot Sauce. He went out to his...
Code Blue. Code Blue.
We got
Camera
Code Blue
down.
King.
We got
Camera down.
Oh, nice. Still on a time card. You're
Jesse's
perfect.
got the lighting right, but we can't fix everything.
Was that from the barbecue? Did a little slippery?
No, that's what I was trying to set up. Stacy treated the whole crew to wings. Tell us about that place you visited. You said it's the best place in Chicagoland, right?
Oh, I'm telling you. Listen, unless Buffalo Wild Wings or Wingstop wants to sponsor us,
then they're the best place.
they would be the best place. But until we get a sponsorship by those guys, I'm going to BBQ over in Vernon Hills. It's a Korean wings place. It's awesome. They have the best, like the wings we're trying today were honey, garlic, and soy sauce wings. Oh, and they're juicy. Oh, they're juicy. It's the best wings I've ever had. Unless we get those guys to sponsor us. BBQ is the best wings I've had.
Yeah, we're good.
Well, this is episode 23 of Give Me the Hot Sauce, and of course, it's dedicated to the GOAT, Michael Jordan. I know that Mike probably listens every week, don't you think, Stacey? He's got nothing else to do.
He's got nothing else to do. You know, he's looking for LaMelo Ball right now. His team superstars hurt.
Yeah, and Gordon Hayward's got a foot injury. He's out 4 weeks, so Charlotte might be sliding in the East. Think about some other great 23s. Of course, LeBron James started wearing that number in high school, probably wore it in grade school, too, in tribute to his legend, Michael Jordan. Look at Draymond Green, Lou Williams, Anthony Davis, and the great David Beckham for the World of Soccer wore 23 for us. So that is number 23, a milestone for us. And I guess, Stinger, you're going to tell us a little bit about the Sandberg game.
Later.
Ryan Sandberg was a great 20. Later, right.
Yeah.
We just want to tease it.
On June 23rd.
Because that way people will stay through the entire show because they'll want to hear your story. And it's nothing to do with Rajon Rondo.
Yeah, well,
Rajon Rondo, he was a catalyst of that team.
Yep. The analytics show that they are
straight.
sticking around to listen to the end of the show.
What do you think of Rondo's debut at the Clippers? Did you catch any of that?
I didn't catch it, but he's already kind of come out and made some statements about what they need to do as a team. And
Paul George said that he would listen to something a two-time champion would say, but when push comes to shove, Stacey, I don't think Paul George or Kawhi Leonard are going to worry too much about Rajon Rondo.
No. I mean, Rajon's going to be a good coach. He's got a great mind, high basketball IQ, but at the same time, those guys are superstars of the game, and they're going to do what they want to do at the end of the day. It's those younger players that Rondo is going to make a huge impact on in the locker room with those younger players, teaching them how to prepare, teaching them how to read their opponent, study the people they're playing to become better players.
You give the Clippers a puncher's chance in the West, or are they down a few notches from where the Lakers and Utah are?
Yeah, I give them a legit chance. I mean, I don't think they're better than Utah. I don't think they're better than Denver. I think they're a top 4 team. I think that, they're all going to play each other in some form or fashion. It's going to be, the Lakers. The Lakers could possibly slip as long as LeBron James is out and Anthony Davis is out. They are struggling big time. They're falling like a rock in the ocean.
Yeah, and they've dropped quite a bit since those two guys have been out. But when you look at that lineup without them, they don't really have a go-to guy in that roster. You've got Kuzma, you got Caldwell Pope. There's not a lot of scoring in that lineup right now. So they've been struggling to score, and they're dropping. They're only at a half game ahead of Portland for their home court advantage in the first round. A lot could change between now and mid-May when we start the playoffs. But let's get back locally to the Bulls, who were able to snap that 6-game losing streak by beating the Brooklyn Nets on Easter Sunday afternoon. Nets didn't have James Harden or Kevin Durant, but still they'd come and they were playing good basketball without KD. And I thought the Bulls played a good all-around game, and they've changed their style a little bit, Stacey. They're playing a little bit slower, and they've cut their turnovers down.
Well, when you get a big center like Nikola Vucevic who can demand the ball in the paint, double teams, he's a willing passer, reads defenses. Before he came, they were in the bottom half of post-ups a game. They were like in the 24th or 25th in the league as far as post-ups. Now they're number 1 team in the league as post-ups. So that's a pretty serious stat when you think about it. Now they've changed their game completely. They're not, they still take a lot of threes, but the emphasis is get the ball inside to the big guy and let him, create for someone else.
If you hear a little creaking in the background, that's not the table. That's Brixton working on the bone. He's ready to roll.
It's puppy play day up here.
Yeah,
Bring your dog to work day.
They came straight from school.
They're currently in puppy school right now. I don't know if it's really working, but it's not cheap. But I got this little thing. I don't know where I did.
You got the clicker,
clicker. Where is it at? It's somewhere around there on my table somewhere.
No, they seem to respond pretty well because they know what comes at the end of it.
Yeah, it's you always you click it. You always got to give them a treat.
Yeah.
So when they hear it click, they automatically are looking for the treat. That's why I'm not trying to click it right now because they really don't need a treat. They need to just chew their bones right now and relax.
And they didn't go after the wings or the apple pies. That's pretty good.
You know what? they normally will try to ask for some table scraps. I don't feed them table scraps though.
They're getting awfully close to the power cord.
So if we go down, baby, we go down.
You know what happened.
Okay.
So
you were talking about Stacey about the post-ups with Vucevic. I think if the Bulls had one more shooter, that would really space the floor a lot better because we've seen him throw that opposite pass, all the way to the other side of the court. And if you got a knockdown 3-point shooter there, they're going to feast with those open looks.
That's the one thing that we talk about every night with this team is that they have so many wide open jump shots now with him as the post player. They have to step up and make shots. Guys, Lowry's wide open. I mean, because he demands a double team, and the focus of the team defense is to stop him and Zach. So other guys are going to have wide open shots, and they have to step up and make them. Because if you're not making them, then the other team doesn't have to make adjustments. They don't have to rotate out to guys they know are not going to make the shot or don't have confidence in making the shot. So you got to start making these shots and really punishing teams for doubling, Zach or Vooch.
You can see that Billy Donovan's really experimenting with his rotation. One day, Denzel Valentine will get major minutes. And then in the Brooklyn game, he decided to play Troy Brown more because he wanted him to defend Kyrie Irving, who was having a pretty good game offensively. You think that's what we're going to see for the rest of the regular season, where he's kind of going to mix and match to maximize the matchups they have?
Well, I think Billy is trying to see what he has in these other guys.
Right.
Because you look at Troy Brown, since he's been here, since the little opportunity that he's played, the one thing he shows you is he shows you the willingness to play defense. And he's about 6'7". He can play anybody, guard anybody. He did a great job, I thought, on Kyrie Irving last night. Really frustrated him into almost 30 shots. Did really well, stayed in front of him, used his length. And he's athletic. He can handle the ball, push it in transition. He can finish at the rim. He's pretty much the guy that they thought Chandler Hutchinson was going to be. It's very, same build, same size. And that's how I think everybody envisioned Chandler Hutchinson being, is that Troy Brown mode.
The guy who's kind of lost some minutes recently, and he's missed some games because of injury. First time in his NBA career is Kobe White. It seems like Billy's gone to different options, letting Denzel handle the ball at times. Sometimes Zach's going to have the ball in his hands. And Kobe's role is kind of like, evolved into he's going to be an off-the-ball shooter, and he's going to either have to make the most of that, or he may find himself on another team down the road.
Well, it's very frustrating. I think he's going through a frustration period right now because you go from starting, you go from being the point guard of the future, and they give you the keys to the car,
right?
And it didn't work out. For whatever reason, it's not working. The Bulls didn't, they didn't give up on him. They continued to play him in that role. It's up to Kobe to evolve as a player. You're getting the same thing with, Wendell Carter, who's playing well in Orlando right now.
Yeah, he's playing really well.
Okay. Gafford, all these guys, they were all given chances to show what they could do. They were all given chances, minutes, start. I mean, Wendell started almost every game of his career. So, when you're on the bench and you're a player on the bench and you're only playing 15 minutes a game, then you get traded and say, I never got a chance. They never gave me an opportunity. Now I'm getting this opportunity somewhere else and I'm going to make the most of it. These guys could never say that. They played starters minutes. They played 34, 40 minutes, and they had opportunity after opportunity to show what they can do. And, there's so many guys in this league, Mark. There's so many guys in this league that would love to have that opportunity to play 35 minutes a game.
Yeah.
And, later on you see them. You see a guy like Nwaba, who had to, pay to come into, a free agent camp at the G League level, pay his own money, and then he makes the team. And then he ends up, scrapping and making the Lakers team and getting a contract. There's a bunch of those stories. There's a bunch of these guys on the bench in the NBA that are sitting there licking their chops for opportunity. So when you have the opportunity, you got to make the most of it.
We mentioned that Brooklyn didn't have Harden and Durant. We're taping the show on Monday night. They're going to play the Knicks in a crosstown battle of New York. But
I got a score update for you, 34-31, end of the first quarter.
That score's not going to mean much for all the people listening later in the week.
Oh, I know, but
So thank you for that interruption. And next time when you interrupt us, you got to hit us with the NBC. Dun, 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 dun. You just can't jump in and just talk. Yeah.
I guess I bring it up because it's the battle of the boroughs. If you're from New York and one of the guys that we're going to have on later is from one of the boroughs, that's Staten Island, and he'll give us a full rundown of that show.
Well, why don't you finish that tease since you started it? Who's going to join the show?
His name is Mark Zguro. We go by Z, and he's a big fan of the show. He teaches in Bedford-Stuyvesant, which the song Billy Joe.
Right. Yeah.
Joe, you don't
Biggie
stop.
Smalls.
You don't stop in Bedford-Stuyvesant. There's no stopping.
No, there is no stopping.
Right. But he's worked there for, I think, 30-something years. And he says at double nickels he gets to retire. So he's going to be a treat, and I know that he's fired up for his Knicks.
Yeah.
So
well, before I was rudely interrupted, the point I was trying to get
Yes.
I thought that was good info. I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
was the Brooklyn Nets. You saw them up close and personal, granted without Durant and Harden, but defense is still an issue with this team.
You know what? Just seeing them from afar, watching them on TV, you go, wow, I don't see anybody beating this team, But then when you see them up close, you see some holes in the game. You see some holes in the team. They're loaded. I mean, they've got a lot of good players. You got a lot of players that are past their prime. You got guys like, LaMarcus Aldridge, who I think, can give you something, but in limited minutes now. Same thing with Blake Griffin. I think, Blake still is valuable and he can do some things, but in limited minutes. You starting him and playing 36, 40 minutes, he'll be dead by the second game in the playoffs.
He's sitting out tonight because he doesn't play back to back.
Exactly. They're not playing back to back. So what I saw, against the Bulls is the Bulls pretty much could do whatever they wanted to, and the Bulls are not an elite team. So you can only imagine what a Milwaukee Bucks team will do, or a Miami Heat team that no one's even talking about. They pick up Victor Oladipo, and that was a smooth move by, Pat Riley. Pat Riley continues to show you, even at, how old he is. I think he's in his 70s, late 70s. He still has it. I mean, he learned from Jerry West, and he was able to basically go to Toronto and said, we want Kyle Lowry. And, then the Toronto priced him out too high. And then all of a sudden, they swoop in and grab Oladipo, which is a great pickup because he's a Miami type of player as far as hard-nosed defense, tough guy. He's got to stay healthy. But from what I've seen so far, it was a great pickup for Miami.
Of course, Stinger directs games for the Milwaukee Bucks, and they signed Drew Holiday to a big extension. 4 years. It's like $135 million, but he's got incentives that could take it up to 160.
Well, we were talking, and I know he's not the the second, the Batman, Robin. I guess he is.
He's Alfred.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
He's
think
Alfred.
so. You try to guard. He's. I tell you, he's played at a high level this last 7 to 10 games.
I like him.
I think he is.
But the funny thing about Milwaukee is you're willing to pay a guy $160 million possibly. Okay, you had Brogdon at $85 million.
Yeah, right.
And Brogdon is that kind of player. He's basically Drew Holiday. He can score. He's a great on-ball defender. He can rebound from the guard position. You had that guy like $85 million, and you let him go.
I think they're worried about his back. He's missed a lot of games. It's a chronic thing. It always flares
You know what?
up on.
And those are the same people who worried about the kid in Denver. Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah.
Everybody's worried about his back. Look at him now. He looks like a freaking all-star.
He's been great.
He's been playing great this year. And then you pair him along with Aaron Gordon, and they got an athletic, 3-4 combination. I think that combination is better than what they had with Jeremy Grant last year. And Jeremy Grant did a great job last year in Denver with the way he played. But now you got a guy like Aaron Gordon who is a handful, athletic, can cut, and when you got a big man that can pass like Jokic, it just makes those guys' jobs so much easier.
So there's about 25 games left in the regular season. Who do you like in the East? Brooklyn, Philly, Milwaukee, somebody else?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. After what I saw Brooklyn, having a hard time with Vooch in the post, if Embiid is anywhere near healthy or Simmons and they can get the ball inside, I mean, Vooch kills him. Vooch is averaging like 28 points a game against him, okay? And he's a very good post-up guy. He can score, but he's not Embiid. Embiid's a different animal. And when he gets the ball inside, not only can he, score with his back to the basket, but he can handle the ball and take it off the dribble as a 7-footer. And that presents so many different problems. And I don't think Brooklyn has really enough to go against him. You can throw Aldridge out there. You can throw, DeAndre Jordan out there. But after that, who's going to stop that dude? So to me, I think that they're the favorite. And then you don't know what Kevin Durant's situation is going to be. Is he going to be healthy? You got to be very careful when you're dealing with these injuries that he's dealing with. He's had some severe injuries. That Achilles tear is no joke. So you got to be very careful. That's why they are, being very cautious with him now.
Speaking of being very careful, I almost stepped on Kobe's back leg. That could have been bad for me.
He would have bit you. He'd have bit you just like the dude. That's like the dog in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He'd bit you right between your legs.
You trained him well, right?
That's right. That's right. Anybody named John and Mark? John and Mark. That's the code word.
I got him on the palm of my hand right now, Kobe.
Oh,
he's
my
just
goodness.
loving on me. So he's.
He likes Susan. He likes Southside Susan. They love Susan. Susan's.
They
really
are
nice. She's
mascots.
nurturing.
We got to get them on the banner.
Listen, man. They said if they're not getting paid, don't put their face up there. Okay, that's what they told me.
They want to protect their likeness.
Yeah, that's what they told me. They said,
NCAA says no.
look, Dad, we love you. We love you. We'll do anything for you. But if you ain't paying me, don't put my face up there.
Just feed us raw meat, okay?
Just feed us the raw diet, baby.
Yeah.
Raw diet, baby.
Hey, speaking of the NCAA, big news in the college basketball. Well, actually, a lot of big news. Roy Williams retires at North Carolina, replaced by Hubert Davis. That news
That's a good
came out,
hire.
the former player. Hubert Davis, of course, very familiar to Bulls fans from the infamous game at the Garden, where the phantom foul was called against Scottie Pippen. Otherwise, it could have been another trip to the finals.
Hugh Hollins.
Yeah. But the big news that Stacey's most concerned about is Oklahoma has a new head basketball coach, Porter Moser from Loyola.
Yes, they called me. I had to sign off on that.
King's got to weigh in.
I had to sign off on that. And, I told Oklahoma my connections at Oklahoma. They're getting a great coach. What he did at Loyola and how he turned that program around to make them, a mid-major be a threat to win it all. They've been to the Final Four. He built that program. Loyola used to be a laughingstock. No one played. I think, was it Al Frederick Hughes? Who was their superstar player back in the 80s?
It was Al Frederick Hughes. Gene Sullivan was the coach.
Yeah, and I remember that team because I remember they played Oklahoma with Wayman Tisdale. And that's how I knew about Loyola Chicago. And then I played them. And when I was in school, I think we beat them by about 50. And I was like, wow, this team sucks. But and I want to say my boy Craig Hodges coached them too before Porter Moser.
Oh, he was at Chicago State.
Okay, his team sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awful. It was awful. It was awful. But I told my Oklahoma people that he's a great coach. He's going to be a good recruiter, and he seems to recruit those tough, hard-nosed kids that can play both ways. You know, they all can handle the ball. Because if you notice, like in the NCAA tournament, even though NCAA tournament is not like it normally is because of COVID, if you notice, like the teams that are winning and are playing really well, they have versatility with their players. You know, you have guys that can handle the balls. You know, 6'11", 6'10" guys get the ball off the backboard and initiate your offense and allow your guards to freelance and run on the break. So you got to be versatile, and Porter he's had that with his team. So the cupboard is not bare. You know, we have a couple of guys that are declaring for the draft. Harmon, who was out this year with the COVID, he's declared, and Austin Reeves is declared for the draft. So hopefully, I think Austin Reeves hired an agent, and I think Harmon didn't. So there's a chance Harmon may come back. I hope so. You know, because you hate to see these guys go into the draft and not have a draft place. You know, then you have 2 years of eligibility.
Yeah, every year
left.
there's like 150 kids declare for the draft, and there's only 60 spots.
Yeah,
so
and see, I wish the NBA
Kobe.
and NCAA did this. You know, instead of glorifying the NBA and going to the draft about the kids who make it, you should start showing videos of the kids who don't make it. Yeah. And then maybe that would deter kids from saying, hey, you know what, I'm ready to go to the NBA. And give these kids an honest, fair evaluation. Well, don't say maybe he's a first rounder, maybe he's a late first rounder.
They say that to everybody. That's why they end up coming out. That's what I'm saying,
and that's why they come out. Yeah. You got to be fair and honest with them. If you don't think this kid is a first rounder or he's even draftable, you say go back to school. Go back to school and finish 2 years.
Especially now, they're going to give these kids the opportunity because of COVID to come back and have another year of
eligibility. Why wouldn't you?
So if you have that opportunity to improve your draft stock, that's what you should do. If you're not going to be a first rounder with guaranteed money, go back and maybe you can work your way into the first round. You know, the coaching carousel has been spinning overtime over the last few weeks. Shaka Smart leaves Texas to take the Marquette job, which surprised me because Marquette's really dropped in recent years. And then Chris Beard moves from Texas Tech, takes the Texas job. Yeah,
and you saw that Chris Beard's athletic director was really hot about that.
Yeah,
you know, and
they took care of him after he got to the Final Four.
Here's my point with all this is like here's why I have a problem with that. It's okay for a coach to transfer and leave those kids who sign on to that program for them
with a 10-year contract, and they just leave,
and then he leaves. Okay, so those kids, I know they got the portal now. Okay, but these kids should have the choice. If you don't want to stay here because your coach left, you should be able to leave without having any penalty. You should be able to leave and go wherever you want to go without having to sit out a year. Because I think that they get mad at kids when they go pro. We lost this guy, one and done. They're complaining about one and done, but no one says anything about a coach who does that. And I think you got to balance it out a little bit. And I still think the NBA should have a rule that you got to stay at least to your junior year.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in college basketball next year because you're going to have some of these guys coming back with the extra eligibility. As Stacey mentioned, more and more kids are going into the transfer portal, just going from one big-time program to the next. You're going to start seeing super teams in college with transfers.
Well, this year was really odd because this year doesn't count for anybody.
Right.
So if you were a freshman this year, you could actually get in the portal and leave and be a freshman somewhere else. Wow. I was like, man, I wish I would have came up on some stuff like that. Oh man, I would have stayed in school another year, boy. I probably have broke all kind of records in Oklahoma doing that. I wish I could have stayed on the 6-year plan.
You would have got your master's and your doctorate before you left.
Man, I'd have been teaching a class.
I think that's a good time to take a break here on Give Me the Hot Sauce. We got a special guest coming up for you. Chicago's professional skateboarder, Chaz Ortiz. This kid's really impressive. We visit with him next as the music tells you it's time to take a break. Then Give Me the Hot Sauce.
Saucy.
Welcome back to Gimme the Hot Sauce. We're not just about basketball here. Stacey has a lot of interests, and we want to bring in a special guest here, Chicago area native Chaz Ortiz. And Chaz, welcome to the show. Great to have you here on Gimme the Hot Sauce. And, it's great to have a local guy on, but my first question is, it's got to be tough to train skateboarding when the weather's so crappy here for 6 months out of the year. How do you get around all that?
Yeah, we were just talking about that. Obviously, we all can't wait for it to get warm out here. There's a couple of indoor facilities out here in Chicago that I've been going to and blessed with. being able to skate after hours where no one's there, so I can kind of have my free time, my practice.
So I started watching the X Games. That's when Tony Hawk, that's when I started kind of really watching the skateboarding and all the tricks. I never knew how popular skateboarding was. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty surreal. Rob Deerdeck, I don't know if you guys.
Yep, Rob. Yeah, Big and Rob.
Yeah. So he kind of took skateboarding and put it on a platform that it never has been before. You're talking full blown arenas, full blown sponsorships. I mean, he just literally took it and just ran with it. And that's what's called Street League. And I've been doing that pretty much my whole career. And it's just good for all of us. I feel like we should get that recognition, of like, it is a sport now. Before it was not really considered a sport, or it was more like a hobby, but now it's becoming very popular. It's in the Olympics now, so we're shooting for that. And yeah, man, I'm glad to kind of be in an era where it's growing, so large, like on a larger scale than it has before.
Tell us about the kind of purses that are involved in professional skateboarding. Can you make some real money out there?
Yeah, I mean, purses are $100,000 a pop if you take first, and kind of goes down from there. I think it's like 50, 30, and then you have your endorsements, like your sponsors, like monthly kind of deal. So, I mean, hey, I can't complain. I made it this far. I'm truly blessed position I'm at, just from riding a skateboard.
Here you go, Stinger. You can quit your directing job. You said you're a great skateboarder.
Yeah, you're a great skateboarder.
Is that you and the dog on the skateboard, or is it just you?
Unlike any of these guys here, I actually skateboarded, and I brought in a skateboard.
Yeah, wow.
He's got the two dogs out there,
Yeah,
I try to teach my dog. Come here.
I brought my skateboard in, but my question for you, as I hold up this beautiful Chicago Bear skateboard, that's not
John's
mine.
always got a prop. You notice?
Yeah, I'm all about props.
But basement.
I got to ask you my question, since I watched some of your footage, the street footage of you going through Chicago. How much is that spontaneous? Are you mapping that out? Because I know you've got camera crews and whatnot, but are you just like skateboarding and then all of a sudden you see something that you can jump up on? And how much is that, do you already kind of walk through?
So pretty much like there's like the main spots in the city where we kind of already know, it's in like an area. But I mean, if you see something new or some new construction or something that you can build, or I don't know, that's what I love about skating. It's like art, you can never master it, and there's just endless opportunities. If you can ride on the ground and if it's smooth enough, then you're good. See, the difference between that board is to go like faster and like, cause it has like the big wheels and the softer wheels. So that one you can zoom around the city. My board's a little smaller and has hard wheels. So every crack you feel, every rock, that's a big thing. When we hit a rock, we go flying. But yeah, man, it's just, and you might see some new building building something, and I don't know. It's just spontaneous. Yeah. And most of the stuff, believe it or not, is shot on our iPhone.
Yeah. It's
well,
great.
see, John's board, he lays on it with his stomach.
Yeah. And Southside pushes him around the block.
Yeah. So, he's laying with his little tiny whiteys on his stomach, and he's skating around the neighborhood, Chaz. He didn't want to say that.
That's pretty funny, man.
So I just wanted to say it's the footage is tremendous, but I love when you fall down.
Oh, did you see him?
Yeah, and then you just give the thumbs up, like, "Hey, man, it happens, right?" See, these guys don't understand what it's like.
Come on, man. I know what it's like.
Stuff's going to happen to you out there.
Okay, I know what it's like. Okay, you're not the only one who rode a skateboard, buddy.
I took a really nice slam yesterday, so I'm kind of feeling it today. I'm not getting any younger, but I still got a long time to go here. So, yeah, I'm excited for this year, man. Get back in the contest and just keep grinding. That's it, man. Put on for Chicago.
Yeah, way to rep, man. So my question is, I mean, I know like being a professional athlete and injuries that we have to deal with to be able to perform, at an optimal level. You got to play through pain. You got to play through. What is it like to be a professional skateboarder? Because you got more pain, I feel, than the professional athlete. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
So, to be honest, like a lot of skaters never took care of their body, like, like back in the days and everything. But now, it's crucial. I work out a lot. I have like a full setup here, like the massage gun. I have the legs, the compression legs. So I just try to do all that, eat healthy. I definitely taking, like, as I'm getting older, I'm feeling it more. So I'm definitely taking like extra repercussion to make sure my body's good, you know, my mental's good. And, you know, it's a tough sport, man. It's tough on the body for sure. And, you know, the skating limit is definitely cut down. You know, you can't do this forever, but, yeah, like just, man, I just try to stay healthy, you know. And I think the biggest thing is just keeping a positive mindset, especially in this sport. You know, it's definitely easy to get caught up in a lot of different things here. So just level head, you know, stay focused. And that's the reason really why I stayed in Chicago. You know, everybody's, oh, why don't you go to LA and this and that? I'm like, if I don't have to go out there and I can show these kids that you can do it from Chicago, you know, make sure that, you know, they're not getting into trouble, or try to be, you know, positive influence in these kids' life. It's like, that's why I'm here. If I don't need to be out there, nobody's paying me to be out there, I don't want to be here. I want to be here at home, showing the kids like, look, I did it. You can do it. You know, just stay positive, keep your head on straight, and, you know, keep grinding. That's it.
That's awesome. I mean, especially giving back to these kids in the community,
right?
And giving them something to shoot for, because they could see you and where you come from, and just like when I was growing up, you know, they see. I want kids to know that you can do it too.
In the main streets of Lawton, Oklahoma.
Okay, look there. This guy. There's this guy right here. So he don't know. He don't know. Listen, say this guy right to the right. He grew up in the suburbs. Yeah. Okay, he had a remote control for the TV. I didn't have that.
Whispers.
Okay. So we got a lot of suburbanites here, Chaz. Me and you can relate to the other side. Okay. So one of my favorite movies, one of my favorite skateboarding movies, is The Lords of Dogtown.
That's where it all started.
So that's where it all started, because in the movie, Tony Hawk was a little boy in the movie. Right. Like he was following those guys. So is that movie? I know all the characters are real characters. So that's initially where skateboarding started, is with The Lords of Dogtown.
Yeah. So pretty much, surfing was really big at that time, and then they were like, well, how can we surf on the concrete? So they built, you know, a little 2x4 with some metal wheels on there, and just evolved from there, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty trippy. Now there's like, I mean, the science of skateboarding is crazy. It's like, if I don't get the same shape, you know, size deck, or just like if you grab a basketball and you feel that it's off, you know, it's like a mental thing. So that's kind of how it is with skateboarding. There's all different sizes, you know, all different shapes, and it's crazy, man. Everybody prefers, you know, different stuff, you know, like I like what I like. This dude might be like, how do you even skate like that? I don't know. I just do it. You know? So it's pretty crazy. Like when you really break down like skating in, you know, that technical way of like different size wheels, trucks, shapes, and all that. It's pretty trippy.
Because when I look at that movie, and these guys were skateboarding in pools, you know, half pipes. I mean, it was amazing. It's skating down steep hills. It was amazing, some of the stuff that you saw in that movie. And now you look at how skateboarding is. There's nothing nowhere near that, because now you got skate parks. You got, you know, there's it's revolutionized.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there was no street skating. You know, street skating is fairly newer to, you know, the scene, which is like the rails and the stairs and all that. But yeah, what came first was the pools and the half pipes and all that stuff. I live right across the street from Grant Skate Park, so I'm there every day, all day. It's definitely a blessing to happen like in the city. It's one of the best skate parks in the world, you know, and it's cool to have right next door to me.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You mentioned before we got started today that you have a chance to maybe compete in the Olympics. What's the qualifying process like? And is this the first year that it's going to be an Olympic sport?
Yes, it is the first year. And so I need to win, I think, 2 contests, and I think there's like 5 left. So it just pretty much goes by ranking, like by the countries. So I kind of got a late start because I was kind of hurt like a year ago, so I didn't compete as well as I wish I would have. But you know, I'm back, and I want to definitely, you know, shoot for it, and that's like really main goal of mine. So I'm just trying to stay focused.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, growing up in Chicago, you're a Chicago sports fan, so I know you rep Bears, Bulls.
Yeah.
Now, you a Cubs or White Sox fan?
Oh man. Yeah, I gotta go Sox, man. I'm South Loop, man. I'm South Loop, bro.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I actually just did a cool streetwear like little gig with them. So, and what was nice is when I was on Gatorade, I had those courtside Bulls tickets. Those
Hopefully we'll get the winning again, and you get back out there.
Let's go, man. You tell me.
Yeah. But you know me though, so I can get you tickets. So you my
There you
friend
go.
now. So I got you. I got the hookup, man. I got the hookup.
There we go, man. Yeah, dude. This
So-
is awesome, man.
So like I said, I'm really getting into it from the Lords of Dogtown. I started trying to follow it, and I watched the X Games with Tony Hawk. Who would be considered, like, you know, Michael Jordan's considered the greatest basketball player. Who would be considered the greatest skateboarder of all time? Like, it would be consensus. Everybody go, this is a badass dude right here.
Man, it's tough. I mean, you got like Paul Rodriguez. He's on Nike. He's got like 10 shoes for Nike. You got Najee Houston. I'm like the Allen Iverson.
You coming up from the grime, the grimy level.
Rebound.
Right. But yeah, I mean, dude, there's so many talented kids now. I mean, just the level of skateboarding just blows my mind. I mean, you have like 10-year-olds doing tricks that just, I don't even know, man. Like it's really progressing so fast. And I'm like, man, I gotta catch up, man. I gotta slow down. I gotta really put this work in right now.
Yeah.
Like,
But you would be
yeah, I mean,
considered though. You would be considered one of the great guys in this sport.
yeah, like Ryan Sheckler, Paul Rodriguez. You got Eric Costin. You know, all those dudes really made a mark in skateboarding. And you know, the skateboarding is a small community, so we keep it, you know what I mean, pretty tight circle. And I'd say those dudes have accomplished, you know, so much in the game, and, you know, much respect to have, you know, 10 shoes on Nike as a skateboarder. Like, nobody would ever thought that. You know, it's like, you know, that's what I'm saying, how skateboarding is growing almost, you know, to be like a, you know, household sport like that, you know? So it's cool to see.
And Stacey, you know, you made it big when you're featured on a video game. So we're told that you were part of a Tony Hawk video.
Shred.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, how'd that all come about?
So pretty much at the time, they reached out and asked, and I did all the funny, you know, with all the balls. I mean, like moving around, like all the voiceover stuff. And it was cool because it was the first skateboarding game where you have the board in front of you, and there's like a sensor on the board. And so you would kind of like move the board in front of the TV, and it would like do the tricks for you, you know? So it was cool, man. It's definitely surreal to even, I forget about that sometimes. And when I do, I'm like, oh yeah, I did that. That's cool, man. I did that.
You've accomplished a lot in this short time. I mean, it's not like you're 40 years old. I mean, you're 26. You've accomplished a lot, man, in your short time. That's a major accomplishment, man. You should be proud of yourself. Family should be proud. That's awesome, man. I mean, you've done more than you've done more than 26 years than some people do in a lifetime.
Yes, man. I think the best part about skating for me was just like seeing the world, traveling places I never thought I would, man. I mean, I've been through like almost 2 passports, you know. I mean, it's awesome, dude. And then, like, you know, I feel like that's the knowledge that really gets you, you know, like just being able to travel and, you know, just, man, that was the best part for me. I can't wait to like get back out there and start traveling. I'm going crazy out here.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I just want to get on the board and go, man. Like,
trust me,
it's crazy,
we all are.
you know. It's like, yeah, you're in Japan, and then I have my room key, and I just grab my board, and I'm just gonna go get lost. I got to give it to the taxi. Here's my hotel key. Take me back, you know. But it's just like it's exploring, you know. And that was like the best thing for me, man. Like seeing all these places I never thought I'd see.
What's the coolest place that you've visited?
Man, I've been. I love Australia. I love Japan.
Australia's nice. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, man, it was
Australia's
awesome.
one of the most pretty places I've ever been.
And the people are just so cool.
Yeah, it's
like,
cool.
Like they'll just go up to someone, hey, what's up? Hey, mate, how you doing?
Hey,
you know?
good day, mate. Good day.
Yeah, and it's just like, man, the vibe there is so cool too. There, you know, I love Japan. Japan was really cool. Yeah, and Barcelona has like a really, really big skate scene as well. I've been there like multiple times. Yeah, so I've been everywhere.
Well,
how close is the world though to catching up with the United States? Like in basketball, you have all these, you have European players coming over to the United States. They've been idolizing basketball for years. And is it like that in skateboarding? Like, is the world catching up? Are there some great, European skateboarders?
Oh man, they're the best. But a lot of best skaters come from Brazil. I'll tell you that.
Oh, really?
Brazil and in Japan right now are like, watch out.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. It's insane. Like their level of skating, I don't know what they're feeding them out there, but they're doing something right because they're coming in hot, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we're so glad that your travels around the world have always brought you back to sweet home Chicago, and we'll be rooting for you as you try to represent the United States in the Olympics coming up. And watch out for the Stinger. He's chasing you with his dogs on that big skateboard down the streets of Chicago.
Yeah.
That's King.
Chaz Ortiz, yeah, hey, named after Stacey King.
Is that a Frenchie?
It is King. That's his name.
Oh, King, baby. Oh, yeah. Way to go, Chaz.
Chaz Ortiz, our special guest on Gimme the Hot Sauce. Ah, yes, time for go off the wall on Gimme the Hot Sauce. Obviously, the holidays bring out the best. It was Easter. We celebrated. Of course, we don't have little kids anymore, so no Easter egg hunts. We have to find more creative ways. Timmy Whisper spent it being an amateur athlete, I heard.
Yeah, I got a little sunburn, but it was great to be outside, play a little tennis, a little basketball, little bags.
How did you do? How'd you fare?
I think I lost at all of them.
Stacey, what a shock, right?
Yeah.
Come on now.
And I was playing my kids. Was it intentional? Or was it because my kid's 6'7", way better than me?
Okay, a fully grown kid.
Yeah, he's a man.
He's a man.
And I have a broken left wrist. So it's
He took you down in the post and did some work?
Yeah, though he was shocked. I was draining those threes with that right hand. He's like, damn, still got it, old man. It was the wrong hand.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's going to be a topic for some other show where we talk about great episodes of athletic accomplishments that mean nothing.
Yeah, I know a guy who plays wiffle ball.
Well, the difference is I do them on my own. This guy has to drag the king into it to get any kind of play.
I'll drag anyone in if I have to.
You're not going down by yourself, buddy.
No, never.
So is that wiffle ball going to be on the bubble up roll? I understand that you played with your daughter's boyfriend.
Yeah, Tate, he challenged. He heard us talking about it, and he issued a challenge.
Thought he could take you deep.
What's his boyfriend?
We call him Tate. His name's Charlie, but his nickname's Tate. We all call him Tate.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna call him Charlie.
He's got a good swing.
Okay, because if you can't hit a whiff ball, your name's Charlie.
Well, you're next.
Okay.
You know why they call him Tates? Because Stinger was taken already.
Yeah, that's true. He only had one stinger. That's true. You know. But,
I saw the video. You know what? He's harassing me. I'm at home, minding my own business. You know, just enjoying the time
I'm
off.
saving you.
And
Public.
No.
No, we're gonna
see it,
before
buddy.
the summer's
Okay.
over, yeah.
So he sends me this video, kind of like the Rocky one where he was all sweaty and he's in his little white beater shirt on. He's doing one arm push-ups.
A single light bulb in the basement.
The light bulb hanging in the thing. Like, get the chickens, Rock! I can't catch them. I can't catch them. Well, that's what he was doing, chasing chickens.
They had to play Hell's Bells when he walked into the front yard to start pitching.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, your entrance is Sandman.
Yeah.
So I'm watching him, and I'm enamored with their yard.
Yeah.
They had a really nice backyard. I was like, wow, that's really nice. It's a really pretty backyard. Oh, cool. And then the camera angle was so far. I had to go get the binoculars. I had to get the binoculars and try to zoom in on it. My golfing ones, they go like 400 yards. So I had to put them on just to see John. And so John's pitching to this kid, right? Doesn't get a kid anything to hit. Old Tate, Charlie, whatever you want to call him.
He's just throwing junk up there.
He was throwing junk. The ball was up, it hit the kid in the eye. Yeah. John said, "Stop crying."
He had to swing in self-defense.
It's a damn wiffle ball, Charlie. Come on, man. So Charlie did get a hit, but it was mysteriously taken off of the video.
John's become a master at editing.
I don't think so. I think I kept that in there. It was the one hit. It had 2 hits.
Yeah. And that's why the camera angle was so far away, because I wanted you to be able to see the flight of the ball.
Yes.
But all I got was complaints.
There would be no flight.
Yeah. All you got was complaints. You can never do anything, Susan. You missed the spot.
Yeah. Well,
it's all we hear. You missed the spot, Susan.
It's never enough, King.
It's never enough. It's never enough.
Our guy Jesse did a great job with the lighting, but there's something seriously wrong for those of you watching on YouTube. You can see Stinger clearly, And beautiful Southside Susie's covered up by the microphone.
Yes.
What's going on? You got to take care of your wife here.
There she is, right there.
I'm hiding.
She's hiding. She
likes to hide.
She's camera shy.
she's
I think we got a meat fart alert.
Yeah.
I told
Dun,
you.
dun, dun,
I
dun.
told you.
We have a.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
This is on YouTube. It's not on
man.
Smell-O-Vision because if
Yeah.
it were, you'd all be
my
turning your
eyes
heads.
are burning right now.
I felt some
If you
heat on my
missed the
shoe.
opening, Stacey's bullies
Yeah.
are here.
Yeah, my two
Brixton
little puppies are
and
here.
Colby Kai are here, and they're having a lot of fun.
What? Yeah,
So
they're
anyway,
having
we
fun.
started out with talking about Easter, and
Yes,
what that
Easter
means
eggs.
is, family gatherings, big meals. Got to make sure everything is just right. Southside Susie baked a beautiful apple pie. She brought
Oh, she
Stacey's
brought me
slice.
some,
Nothing for the rest of us, but that's okay.
Yeah, you know what?
didn't
Because
care.
you know what? She was telling me how good her apple pie was.
You're gonna eat that.
Yeah,
right?
I'm gonna eat that. Don't interrupt me again.
Don't make eyes at that apple pie.
So she says she's got carrot cake she was gonna bring.
Oh, okay.
Okay, she was gonna give
I
you
like
guys
carrot
carrot
cake.
cake. She was gonna give you guys carrot cake, but then decided that Tim, since his beautiful wife Maureen already cooked one, she wasn't gonna bring it down. So she brought this apple pie.
But I wasn't at home.
Where were you at?
Here.
Oh, okay.
So otherwise, I'd bring some in.
Okay. Yeah, all right, buddy.
So you guys
Okay.
got stiffed again.
Yeah, I told you. These guys right here, boy, they got the T-Rex arms. When it comes, I come in here every week, ladies and gentlemen, America. I come in here every week. They all are eating. They're eating like they're getting ready to go to prison. It's the last meal. They got this big Greek food, chicken, and then when I come in, there's no food. I started to say, hey man, this is starting to get a little close to. I don't want to pull out the old Ace of Spade card, but it's coming. So then Timmy whispers. I go, well, hey, did anybody order? Is there any more food? Oh, you want some?
Did you want something?
I'll order you some. I tried to call you. No, you didn't.
Oh, yeah.
He called the wrong number. He didn't call me.
I faxed you the menu.
He faxed me the menu.
We have to
Yeah.
have the special pizza for you, though.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Yes, you do. From Moretti's. And, they're not a sponsor, but if you're listening to Moretti's, we got a spot for you. We eat your pizza a lot some nights. And, like somebody ordered pizza one night. They had onions on it and they had, peppers and peanut butter and jelly and stuff. I don't know what. They had all kind of craziness on there.
Veggie?
If it's a veggie pizza, even a veggie person wouldn't eat it. And so I said, hey, look, can we get some just pepperoni, like a regular pepperoni? There are some people here that are normal, that are not.
Pizza didn't
go
over.
We're not vegan. Is there somebody out there? So then they finally listened to me and started giving me my pizza, which was awesome. So, Moretti's, if you're listening, we love your pizza. It is very good. Okay. But if Pizza Hut comes in and Papa John's or anyone else that serves pizza,
You're welcome.
yeah,
Come on board.
we'll welcome the sponsorship. we will hype you up on the Give Me the Hot Sauce show.
Well, normally for Easter, a lot of people will prepare ham in different ways.
Wow.
And I understand that in the Walsh household, John, you had one job to prepare for the Easter meal. And
One
it
job.
didn't
One
work out
job.
that well.
Mark,
job.
you're supposed to be on my side.
Well, I'm just
One
setting up.
job.
I'm setting up the story.
Okay.
Susie, you take it from there.
I gave him one job.
One job.
What was that?
I had to go to Chicago to pick Cat up, and I left him with a receipt. I ordered a honey ham, and I said, honey,
Honey ham.
pick up the honey ham. Here's the receipt. Here's a $5 coupon.
Oh, you didn't mention the coupon. But.
I did. All you have to do is go to the store and hand it to the kind lady. So he shows up at the store completely empty-handed, correct?
Yeah, and I tried to call you, and the phone, because you were yelling at me, the poor woman, she was looking at me like, I can take care of this for you. Then I got in the corner, and the manager came over and said, whatever you need, we have.
Yes. And there's like 20 other people in line. So John got to cut the line because the people heard Susan yelling at him and abusing him. And they felt so bad.
Terrible.
They said, sir,
That is fake
here's
news.
a piece of paper.
That's
Just
fake
write
news.
help and we'll call 911. If it's that serious, we'll call 911.
Fake news.
Susan is an
What?
awesome woman. But John was scared when I talked to him on the phone. John said, she is so upset with me. I don't know
not
why. She's not even
true.
answering me anymore. She's not even answering my call. My daughter has to relay the message to me from her. I was like, Susan, is that mad?
That's actually true because
Yes.
Well, he called and he said, "Did you pay for it?" And if he had the piece of paper in his hand, that wouldn't have been a question. So I hung up on him.
Oh, that's what he said.
So he
you hung up on him.
And I gave the phone to my daughter, and I said, "You did it."
Yes.
I'm not.
Yes, you deal with him. I'm not talking to him right now. I'm angry.
John,
he
were
had
there
one
other
job to
people in
do.
the store in line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're all mad at you because you're that one guy
Yep.
Yeah.
who didn't have the documentation to get in and out
No,
quickly.
it's not necessarily true because I'm aware of my surroundings, Mark. Maybe unlike the superstars, I recognize that and I went over to the corner.
We got put in
okay.
honey
You
ham
got out of the
timeout.
way.
Yes.
And I wanted to make sure, yes.
No, that's very polite.
And the manager saw that and he came over to me.
Were you
And-
crying?
Yeah, he was. He was crying. He was flustered. His face turned red. You know how John, when he gets a little nervous, his little face turns red like a cherry. So when you were yelling at him, he was getting flustered.
And I couldn't.
And they saw it.
I had the mask on, and she's yelling, and I couldn't
would-
communicate. Everything was a fail.
This is an abusive relationship.
So I just went and got some Mexican
When did
food.
John, do we need to call somebody?
This story's getting better.
And that's
by
in
the-
Wisconsin. So
Yeah.
they're like, hey, is she a Bears fan? She sounds like one.
Yeah, she sounds like one exactly. See, I found out a lot about the Walshes. I found out a lot about the mom and dad Walsh. What was the daughter in the car the other day?
Oh, that was Jackie.
Okay, yeah. So
Oh,
yeah, they picked her up. They picked her from the train station.
Yes.
Okay, so they're driving home, right? And so Jackie's in the car, and so we're talking, and then all of a sudden, like John said something. What did you say
He said,
about?
"Oh, we got to go. We just picked our daughter
Yeah.
up, and she's mad that
Yeah,
we're-
she's mad that you're talking on this. He was mad that she was talking on the
Right.
phone, not paying attention
she
to
wanted
her.
a big warm
Yeah,
welcome."
so John goes, yeah, she's upset with us because we're not paying attention. We're talking to you. So I was like, oh, okay. So then she goes, say hello, and she didn't say hello. I said, hey, listen. If you, I said, are you abused? Because I
will turn him in.
Do you need?
You know who will turn him in?
I said, I will turn them in. I said,
we've learned that about you.
I said, I will have the authorities at your home before you get there. Patrick and Kat, all you guys will be escorted out. You'll be safe. SWAT will be there. So if you need me, here's the code. Help. That's the code word. If I hear you in the back, if I hear where they're talking, if I hear help, I'm calling 911 because I will turn.
Oh, we know that.
That is a true story.
Yes,
you know,
I
That's
will.
fact.
You know what I'm wondering? There's different rituals that people who date, son or daughter have to go through to be accepted by the parents. And so he takes the kid out to play wiffle ball. I'm wondering,
Lord.
did you take him down to the basement and show him the tub of your
Wait,
baseball cards?
There is a basement story, isn't there?
Well, let's be careful now.
Oh, yes.
Maybe I should.
Yeah.
Maybe I should skip.
Oh,
Maybe I should
Father John.
The dungeon.
No, they wanted to.
Deadbolts on the door.
He's got a clown suit in a glass case.
Do you all see the movie Get Out?
On that note,
Oh my God.
This guy wants to change the
Yeah,
subject.
you want to change the subject
It's
quick.
He's got control of the audio.
Yeah, he's got
board.
control of the audio board.
Saved by the bell.
Yeah, saved by the gunshots, baby.
We'll forget about the dungeon in the Walsh basement.
Yes, in the clown suit in
Right
a
next
glass
to the
case. Breaking case of emergency.
Hey, Major League Baseball season is off and running, and we've got two members of the panel probably wearing their White Sox hats, but it didn't go real well out in Anaheim with 1 win, 3 losses. And Tony La Russa has been challenged already to manage that bullpen. He's had to go there early and often, as Stacey looks at it. That's what you think about the first weekend in Anaheim.
Oh man, that's what they had exactly. Well, listen, it's early, man. There's so many games. I mean, of course, there's disappointment you like to see, but they got injuries already, man. Wow. Tim Anderson with a hamstring.
Yeah, strained a hamstring running to first.
Man, that stinks this early in the season.
It's interesting the adjective you used.
yeah.
Stinks. Yeah, dude. Listen, America, if you're listening, I'm sure I'm not the only one with puppies or dogs that fart
Flatulent.
and flagellant. Let's use that science term, flagellant.
And the door is closed in the conference room, so we're in great shape.
It's hot in here. We're
And the air
trapped.
went off.
And the air went off, and it's like a black fog in here.
My eyes
And
are
we got the
watering.
lights directly
Yeah.
at you.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my
At
gosh.
least we won't have any cockroaches.
Yeah,
Well, don't light a match.
Hey, listen, we all blow up, buddy. The whole
Burn
building.
our eyebrows off. That's
Man, it's like an onion. I'm just like, my eyes are watering right now. I love my dogs, but come on.
Hit the rifles again, John.
Oh boy.
Very nice. guys, over on the other side of town, the Cubs took 2 out of 3 in their opening series against Pittsburgh, and Chris Bryant got off to a nice start. Looked like he hitting the ball with some authority, and I cringed when he ran after a foul ball, hit his knee on the concrete barrier. Ooh. He's okay, but with all the injuries he's had in recent years, they said, well, we're going to fix the padding for the next homestand. Yeah, great, after you lose your star third baseman running into the concrete.
Wow, that happened at Wrigley?
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah, going for a foul ball.
Oh, wow.
But he's hitting the ball well, which is good to see. And it looks like the guy they got in the Yu Darvish trade, Zach Davies, who pitched in Milwaukee last year, is going to be a really nice addition for them.
Well, I mean, it's still early for the Cubs.
The man with the White Sox hat says
it's still early.
He said, hit the rifles again. He didn't want to talk about the Cubs.
No, I mean, listen, I like to see all Chicago teams do well, but I feel like they're going to move Chris Bryant at some point. If you're a Cubs fan and you're getting all excited about his first game, his first series, and then, to have him moved at some point, that's just going to be disheartening, because that core group of guys, they're going to probably break that group up.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, this is it. They're going to probably break this group up, and it's sad because they're still young. It's not like they're, what's the kid they had from New York? Soriano?
Soriano, yeah.
Yeah, where he was like, 30-something years old, and they were paying him all this money, and it was just an eyesore, and they couldn't really get better. These guys are still young. I still think Bryant has the ability to be a superstar in this league if he can stay healthy. And then you have to figure out where you're going to play him. Is he going to be in the outfield? Are you going to play him in the infield? That utility stuff for a superstar player, I just think that's too much for him. You do that to guys like, guys who can play multiple positions, and you want them out in the lineup, but not your superstar players. You play them at one position, his best position.
I don't know if it's Brixton or Kobe who's snoring, but I guess they don't like baseball. Hit the rifles again.
Oh, it's Kobe. I'm telling you, man. Listen, I'm watching the Final Four the other day, and literally, I thought there was humans in the house. I thought I was the only one in the house. I said, somebody break in? Like they were just literally snoring. Both of them together sound like there was people in my house. And I was like, good God, man. I got to be quiet. I can't hear. I had to turn the TV up.
We'll try to liven it up for Kobe. Well, we do have some football stuff in the news. There was a trade completed on Monday. Sam Darnold goes from the New York Jets to the Carolina Panthers, which means the Panthers won't be drafting a quarterback at 8, and the Jets certainly will at 2. All the speculation centers on Zach Wilson as the second quarterback being taken out of BYU. And the price to get Sam Darnold, Stacey, wasn't that high. It's a 6th-round pick this year, a 2nd, and a 4th next year. So, Bears fans are thinking, why didn't we get Sam Darnold?
Yeah. Where are the Bears drafting at right now?
20.
Man, we can never get into any of these arm races. We just can't.
And there might be quarterbacks taking the first 5 picks. All of a sudden, Alabama's Mac Jones is flying up the board. San Francisco made a trade, so they could take him at 3.
You see Mac Jones flying up the board. He went from 15 to 12, and now he could be third quarterback off the board. Well, who's dropping is Justin Fields.
Yeah,
and I'm telling you right now, whoever gets that kid is going to get a stud.
They're
going to regret. They're going to regret not drafting that kid. Whoever passes on him, and I don't know what the reasons why, because some people get out there. There are some people out there in these drafts, man, that are paid to start rumors, and they put dirt out on a kid, and now you hear that his work ethic, and listen, if his coach Day at Ohio State. And the Georgia coach, Kirby Smart, if those guys are saying that he had a great work ethic, that's who I'm listening to. I'm not listening to anybody else. I'm not listening to the strength coach. I'm listening to the head coach. Is he in the quarterback room? Is he working to get better? The kid runs a 4.4 40. He can make every pass. And in this NFL, it's, the pocket passers other than Brady it's pretty much obsolete now.
Who's going to end up getting him is the Patriots. They'll trade up. Bill Belichick will make a smart move. And Justin Fields will be a big star in New England.
I hope they do. Because that's a bold move. That would be something the Patriots would do.
Keep going.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, it makes sense because they got Cam Newton.
Yeah.
So they can run the similar offense.
Right.
So.
1 year he can just kind of internship, learn from Cam on how to be a running quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
That'd be a really good fit if Belichick is able to get him there. One thing we didn't talk about when we were talking about baseball, The American League's Player of the Week for Week 1 is Yermin Mercedes. The kid went 8 for 8 to start his season for the White Sox, and he was a forgotten guy. He was the story of training camp back in 2020 before the pandemic hit. He was tearing the cover off the ball, but he's kind of this, this portly guy. You don't really think that he can be a major league player, but he got 8 hits in his first 8 at-bats.
Listen, if John Kruk could be a major league player, wow, this kid. No, seriously, because baseball, it's we're so used to seeing the streamlined guys, but every so often you'll get a guy like Cecil Fielder. Prince Fielder. I never understood Prince. He said he was a vegan, and I'm like, what are you eating?
I saw Prince get off a Midwest Charter back in the day when I was doing the Brewers, and he had a stack. Remember the cookies?
Yeah.
The Midwest Charter. He had a stack like this in his hand.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
So he might have been a vegan, but
because he did one of those body issues, where in the ESPN body issues, and he was saying he swore I've been a vegan for 10 years.
Oreos are vegan,
and I'm thinking, I'm thinking, how in the world can you be a vegan? A lot of pasta. Really? That's what he ate? A lot of pasta?
My uncle was it's another episode, but he was a vegan and he was 300 plus. He was a big man.
What was he eating? Just
he was
pastas?
eating everything. Carbs. You eat a lot of carbs when you're a vegan. Think about it. All the bread. He's Italian. Pasta. Ice cream. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's guys like that, and 2020 he was hitting the ball. That if a guy was hitting the ball like that in 2020, he's got the ability to be a good hitter.
Yeah, so I'm sure the White Sox will be fine. It's 162 games this year. It's not 60, so plenty of time to try to straighten things out.
Yes.
We're going to take a little break here. We come back. We're going to dish some dirt on the down low, and we're going to be joined by a special guest, Mark Zguro, an old friend of Stinger.
Zguro, Z-Man.
Hey, welcome back to Give Me the Hot Sauce. If anybody has a can of air freshener out there, run it over to 1230 West Northwest Highway, the Nautilus Medical Technology.
Stop talking about my dogs, man. They're babies. They're puppies. Yeah. Okay? They don't have astronaut diapers for dogs. I'd be making them wear it.
I think they do.
No, they don't.
I think they do.
They got them for monkeys. They don't got them for puppies. You ever see those little monkeys with diapers? Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen the your new images.
Oh yeah,
your videos that you send us.
It was. Listen, it was funny though. Those were funny. I ain't gonna lie. Those were funny.
Yeah.
Those were funny. The voiceovers. Yeah, I was. Listen, America. I'm sure you watched King Kong and Godzilla. Yeah, I'm sure all of you guys watched that. It's awesome. Listen, they made King Kong. If you haven't watched it, spoiler alert. Okay, don't be mad at me.
There's a big fight in there.
Yeah, there's a huge fight. There's a bunch of fights in there. And let me just tell you this: I grew up as a King Kong fan. Like I love King. I love me some King Kong. I never liked Godzilla. Never liked the lizard. Never liked him. Okay, I don't even like the Geico lizard. But King Kong never lost to Godzilla. Never lost to Godzilla. Spoiler alert. King Kong got his ass whooped. I'm just going to tell you that. I'm just going to flat out tell you, he got his ass whooped. Man, Godzilla.
Did you say no rematch at the end, Rob?
No, it was no moss.
Ain't going to be no rematch.
No rematch. No. Hey, let me tell you something. King Kong was a bad dude. They made King Kong look like he was soft in this movie.
Oh, that ain't right.
Yeah, I think whoever made the movie was a Godzilla person. Because it seemed like it was one-sided. Like Godzilla, did y'all see Godzilla and the Monsters or something? The one previous to that was called Godzilla versus the Monsters.
Didn't catch that.
You should catch that. Maybe y'all should watch movies more. Okay, you ever think about that?
No, you should gauge your audience.
Yeah, exactly. Well, listen, not everybody's watching The Notebook every night either. So anyway, if I was really interrupted by those Walsh people over there across the table. Anyway, Godzilla versus the Monsters was a prequel to this King Kong Skull Island. So Godzilla beat up all these monsters.
Yeah.
And so he became the king of the monsters. So as the movie ended, they were bringing King Kong. They were showing King Kong and they were showing Godzilla trying to find King Kong. He just didn't know how to get to him. Well, this is where King Kong versus Godzilla came. So they meet. Okay. They meet. Finally, they meet. They fought like 3 times and Godzilla won 2 of 3. And the last fight, it's
like a wrestling match, 2 out of 3 falls.
Yeah.
You know?
But the way they did Kong, they made him tap out. Like who Kong would never tap out.
No way.
He would die before you let him tap out. So
Spoiler alert.
So yeah, spoiler alert. I'm sorry. Don't be mad at me, people. If you haven't watched it, it's your own fault. Anyway, so Godzilla has King Kong on his back. And he literally walks over to Kong and puts his foot on his chest to basically symbol, are you done? Because if you're not, I'm going to continue to pour this can of whoop ass on you. Man. And Kong was like, and he was mad. And so, but he couldn't do nothing because Godzilla beat him. Yeah. So he just basically tapped out. And I was like, oh,
that crushed
there has to be a second version, just like in
that was right after he saved Godzilla's life.
No, it was before that.
Yeah,
it was before that.
This should have been off the wall.
No, it was
spoiler alert.
No, spoiler
Spoiler
alert. He saved Godzilla in the last part of it when the mechanical Godzilla was beating Godzilla's butt.
Wow.
Like,
It's like when Arlovsky stood on my chest and said, "Are you done yet?"
Yeah. We were talking about he's still scarred about that MMA where he got knocked out and the guy stood on his chest and said, "Hey, are you done yet?" That's what happened to him. That's why when he's watching King Kong versus Godzilla,
PTSD.
He's sweating. He's like, "Oh my god, this feels like when I was fighting Arlovsky."
I turned it off.
We're gonna have Arlovsky here on the show one day, and we're gonna bring him in studio, and we're gonna film him and we're gonna make him fight Tim.
Reenact it.
Yeah, we're gonna reenact it because I'm gonna make him fight Tim because I'm gonna tell him that Tim called him a chump and he's all these names. He's soft. He's the worst UFC fighter in history, and then he's just gonna come in and we're just tear up the whole room trying to get at Tim. Yeah.
So what you're saying, this whole show, the movie was told from the perspective of Godzilla. So the producer of the show had some.
It's kind of like Michael Jordan in The Last Dance in his perspective. Okay, Godzilla was like The Last Dance. He had his own perspective of how he wanted it to end, and it was very similar to MJ in The Last Dance. It was his perspective.
He said, "Break, time to stop."
Damn it.
Well, if you're watching on YouTube, you're seeing a fifth square over there and wondering, why does this poor guy have to listen to the story about King Kong versus
I've seen stuff.
They were probably saying, is that Quentin Tarantino? They got Quentin as a guy. Yes.
Yeah. Looks
See?
like it.
Has anybody ever told you that, Z?
Yeah, I've heard it. Yeah. I wish I had his money.
Yeah.
I know it's good coffee. I fucking bought it.
Oh, there's it. Timmy whispers. He only says one thing a show.
Hey, our special guest is Mark Zguro. He's a longtime friend of our guy, the Stinger. Lives in Staten Island, worked for Fox Sports for a long time, been doing a lot of sports broadcasting work. Thanks for coming on. And we understand that you've been following the show. We appreciate that. We always want to give a couple of minutes to people who are in the business and enjoy what we're trying to do here on Give Me the Hot Sauce. Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much. Absolutely. I love the show. I love, because you never know what you're going to get.
You just like right there.
Yeah. I mean, I came on. I didn't know that the $14.99 I spent on HBO Max was going to get blown out by Stacey.
Yeah, you can't watch the movie now.
Although it did say, I heard spoiler alert. That's all right. But
the movie just happened to be out like 3 weeks now. Come on, man.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's okay. I'll watch it anyway. But listen,
watch it again though. You can watch it.
You want to hear about Justice League? Stacey's got a couple of
Did Superman come back to life? That's no.
Yeah, he did. He did. He did. Spoiler alert. Hey, if you read the comics, you knew he came back.
Great.
Come on. It's not a spoiler alert.
No, absolutely not. I'm with you. I did see both. So I'm just playing around, playing the game. But so listen, I love Timmy Whispers, right? And because he only says like one or two things a whole.
It's always revolting too.
Inappropriate.
And then he costs you guys sponsors and stuff. So
then he leaves. He walks out the door.
Then he leaves.
Yeah. And then he leaves. But I do have to admit, I did like when he asked Scalabrini about being the redheaded stepchild of the NBL.
Yes.
That was poignant.
Yes.
Perfect.
We're thinking Emmy there.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Emmys for podcast.
It might be an Emmy more. He was really traumatic about that. There was a lot of history with that question. Yeah, a lot of hurt.
30 years of abuse.
Yeah, 30 years of abuse, he said.
Many decades.
Yeah, he was crying in the post show, but we got him through it.
Yes, we got him through it.
So how long have you known our guy Stinger?
So I have known Stinger. And first of all, I want to thank you so much for dropping the Stinger label on.
He gave it to
my
himself.
friend. You know what? I know, but it's kind of like post-traumatic stress. I don't want to think about how and why he gave it to himself. But the fact that you guys are running with it, it's like Christmas came early. It's like getting a Jelly of the Month club. It's just a gift that keeps on giving.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And it's perfect. It's perfect. But fortunately for you, you have the balance right there next to him. And that's
yes. Yes.
So,
she runs the roost in the Walsh household. She leads by intimidation. John won't admit it until he's by himself. Right now he's writing a piece of paper and he's gonna send it to you. He's like, Z, help me.
Yeah, no brushback pitches to his wife.
Oh no. He's not gonna do that. No.
So John, you got a story about Z working together?
Yeah, I do. Several stories about Z. I can think of Yankee Stadium, Old Yankee. Mm-hmm. And there was a camera guy, Dulio Costaba.
Oh boy,
there's a name for you.
You see that all those photos behind you, Mickey Mantle and Roger. He was actually working high home on all those big moments.
He was high at home.
High home camera.
And, he was high at home.
And his son, we were on the same crew together.
Okay.
And we had to kind of chaperone his son. Southside was there for many of it. And Z, we had some difficulties a few times with the young son. And I can remember Z was outside. He was trying to play the voice of reason, talking to, because he's a, New York City's so nice. You name it twice. He's a icon in New York, and so he's giving Dulio the New York way, trying to calm Dulio down because he didn't like what he was hearing from his son, how we were treating him on the crew. And it was just one of those moments where at Yankee Stadium, there are a ton of Yankee moments, but that's the first one that came to my mind.
When Fox got into baseball, people were wondering, how are they successful were they going to be when you looked at how it was done by other networks? You've run across, I'm sure, a lot of personalities, a lot of different people. You got any stories about Fox people or any of the on-air types? I was laughing when the Cubs won the World Series. Pete Rose was there for a year. I don't know if you ever encountered Pete or any of the on-air people, but any stories about working with the Fox crew?
So I do, but I am still currently working on Night in America.
Yeah.
Well, he did the Bartman game. Actually,
YouTube's forever, Z.
That's a great story. Z was with the Bartman game, and I came down with Susan's brother and this other guy, Troll, and we picked and rolled into Wrigley, and we went to the game, and we were at the Lodge. Remember, we were at the Lodge, and we're there, and it was getting late. And all of a sudden, Josh Beckett walks in. We're like, oh, well, Josh Beckett's here. We could be here. And then another hour or two later, Dusty Baker rolls in. And we're like, well, we're fine, right? Dusty's here. He's got to manage the team tomorrow. We can stay. Yeah. And we ended up staying to 5 a.m., right? Poor Z had to get up and go to work.
Yes, and it was an Emmy-winning broadcast after that night. That's for sure. And then we had all of that stuff that came down with him. And I worried for him, because we took so many cutaway shots of Bartman leaving, that I figured, we're going to be culpable. Like, we're going to be in a lawsuit. If something happens to this guy, we basically, painted the picture, and gave his address out,
He's going out exit number 3.
Yeah. He's in a blue car heading north.
Exactly.
So when you are you a Knicks fan or are you a Nets fan?
So I'm a huge Knicks fan, and as I was waiting for you guys, we were up 10 at the half, which is
You're still up 86-77.
Very. I don't know when are you going to air this? You're going to air this on.
John's giving partial scores for a podcast that's come out on Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly. So I can place the bets early. So I'm a huge Knicks fan, I'm so happy with Mr. Tibbs. We call him Mr. Tibbs.
Mr. Tibbs.
Yeah. I like it. He is. He has changed the whole feeling, the whole just idea of what they're trying to do. I'm glad we didn't throw anybody away. When it came to trade deadline. I was listening to you, Stacey. You were talking before a couple of podcasts ago about not giving up on the young guys.
Yep.
About working them out. So I think we have a really great core. And here's the thing for me as a fan, I don't need to win every game, but if I'm going to put that time in, right, I just make it possible. The last 2 minutes, just be in the game. That's it. That's it. That's all.
Be competitive. Be competitive.
100%.
Well, one thing you're going to get out of Tibbs, his teams are always going to be competitive. And, you know, one thing when he was here, you know, he got hard-nosed guys that want to compete every day, that come out. You'll hear him sometimes at his press conference, you know, someone's out and they're injured. Next man up. You know, do your job. You know, I mean, he's that guy.
More than enough to win.
You got more than enough win. I mean, players love playing for him, and he's going to change the culture in New York, and you can already see it's changed. And if you're a New York Knicks fan, you got to be excited what you're seeing.
Just even when we got D Rose, right? The big thing was everybody was worrying about, is he going to upset the apple cart? You know, is he going to be a problem? The guys said, I'll come off the bench. I'll tutor these young, you know, quickly and Barrett. You know, he's been one of the, when he's healthy, when he's in, has been one of the greatest things possible. You got him coming off with your second squad. Forget about it. I mean, I couldn't be happier. That's for sure. I don't know if you could tell, but I've suffered as a Knicks fan.
Hey, Z, before we let you go, if you see Stinger over there, you can't see the number on it, but he's wearing a Brewers jersey with the number 4 on it. He told us a story that he was such a good athlete down in spring training that they were calling him Little Molly in terms of Paul Molitor. Any other crazy braggadocio stories about Stinger you can tell us about?
Wiffle ball. Remember we played wiffle ball?
Oh, not the wiffle ball.
Have you told them that already? You told them the wiffle ball story?
No. There's
he wants to try to strike out Stacey.
It's not going to happen.
I got you. He's got a funky roto ball that he throws.
Throws it at people's heads.
Yeah, exactly.
I tell you, Z can do any job in a television production truck. You need one guy like, hey, who's going to do stats?
Yeah.
Z. Who's going to answer the phone? Z. Who's going to run the bug? Actually, he did that for me because we did hockey together. So he was my stats guy, my runner.
You did hockey?
Yeah, I did hockey. And with who did we work with?
Bleckner and Flip.
Yeah, but Kenny Albert.
And Crisp and Terry Crisp, right?
Yeah, maybe it was Terry Crisp, but Z, the accounting guy from Fox, called me in LA. He's
want him to do the expense reports?
Well, he was like, you've got one guy doing 5 jobs. Yeah. And I'm like, hey, he can do 5 jobs. So I'm going to let him do all 5 jobs and he's going to get paid for 5 jobs.
Well, these guys are going to continue the Mutual Admiration Society later on FaceTime. They're going to cry themselves to sleep. And it's going to be a really touching tribute. Wow. It's kind of like Tim with the red-haired stepchild.
Yeah, 30 years of torture.
Go ahead. You're going to say something. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say to you, Mark.
No.
You do such a good job, and I mentioned this to Stinger in a phone call conversation, because you're trying to contain the insanity. You know, you're trying to keep that train on the track. Yeah. And so I'm watching and I'm listening and I'm thinking, just, you know, you're a veteran. Just you can't guard this podcast. Just
let it go.
Try to contain it. Just try to contain it.
It's lightning in a bottle. Lightning in a bottle, baby.
Fantastic.
Sooner or later, we're going to burst out.
Oh, I love it. Love it.
Z, it was great having you on for a few minutes. Thank you so much. Best of luck. Enjoy New York City and then the revitalized New York Knicks.
Knicks! Yeah. Except when you play the Bulls.
Okay.
Which is very soon. I think we play them in the next week or so.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So
Mark
we'll have to revisit.
Yeah, join us for a few minutes. Give me the hot sauce. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks for having me. Great time.
Thanks, Z.
Bye. Hey, before we get out of here, we mentioned that this is the GOAT episode 23, and you said, we teased it in the beginning, a story about the Ryne Sandberg game where he hit 2 home runs off Bruce.
Yeah, real quick. I mean, it's in the folder.
This won't be quick.
No, we'll get really quick. I got it written down here.
I got a timer.
Stacey's on his phone now. He's like, oh, this is going to be
Wait, Rajon Rondo knew Ryne Sandberg?
Everybody remembers the Sandberg game.
Seinfeld. Seinfeld.
5 for 6 home runs in the 9th and 10th. I mean, it was NBC game of the week.
Bruce Sutter.
Right.
Bob Costas.
Yeah, exactly. Bob Costas. But a guy that we work with, Vince Lotto, I think King knows him.
He'll be next week's guest.
He always would bring that ticket in. He went to the game. It was $350 for the bleacher seat, and he'd always bring that ticket in.
Yeah.
Every
Vince
year.
works as a stage manager.
Yeah, no, that's Lupo. This is Lodel. You know Vince. He does stats and stuff.
Okay.
But he'd bring that ticket stub in. He was so proud of that ticket stub. Every year on June 23rd, the Sandberg game. Yeah. He'd bring it in and bring it in. One year we got a chance to interview Ryan. And I said, bring the ticket stub in and we'll get him to sign it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because he always told, I had $15. It was bus fare. It was 2 hot dogs, a Coke, and the ticket. And so the day came and we had an interview, and I brought Vince over, and there's some photos, and he talked to Ryan, and Ryan signed it for him.
Nice.
And I said, you got to get that frame now. Now the whole thing is complete. Like, we just completed the whole story.
Was this Ryan Sandberg with before hair? Or
yeah,
when was it? When was it? I mean, or restore. I mean, the restore.
No, there was some restore.
Okay,
there was
restore if you want to be a sponsor.
Yeah. Hey, John. Hey, we got a guy here.
Yeah,
that can use restore. The Stinger. Well, we'll take that.
I'm just saying,
a couple of billboards at O'Hare.
Yeah,
that wouldn't be bad.
John's face up here. Stinger. You have a mullet.
we got Erlacher behind you. That's right.
Oh my God.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying. It's always a great story, because if you're a fan of sports, you know, he was a young kid. He's a Cub fan now for life, right?
So what's that worth if you pull that out of the tub?
Why does everything have to have a price?
Well, you know, you're up to date on these things.
You know what? I have no idea.
It's
but to
priceless,
him,
right? Yeah,
it's priceless.
I'm telling you, every year he'll pull that out. Now he's got the autograph to go with it. So he's got the story.
That's
continues.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a great story.
It's in the bubble up folder.
But it's 7:40 on a Monday night, so we're going to talk about the NCAA tournament. It doesn't matter who we predict, because you won't hear this till after the game's over. And John can't give us a partial score because it doesn't start for another 40 minutes. But we were thinking, you know, the great shot by Jalen Suggs, banks in that shot from 30 feet to get Gonzaga to the finals, keeps the hope alive for an undefeated season. So we were wondering, greatest moments in NCAA history. Stacey, that's got to be near the top, the Jalen Suggs shot. Listen,
there's been a lot of great shots. I mean, you know, Jordan in college against Georgetown as a freshman hitting that corner jumper. That was really supposed to go to, you know, Sam Perkins or James Worthy. That was a big time shot. I would say the girls' women's national championship game a couple of years ago. Enrique hit that game winner.
UConn, right?
UConn, that was a big time shot. And then, you know, Jordan hitting the game winner. It was a game 5 against Cleveland on the road, which is a series Cleveland was supposed to win. And
we're talking about NCAA tournament.
Yeah, NCAA.
No, I'm talking about greatest shots ever. We're not just talking about NCAA tournament. We're talking about the greatest shots ever.
Change the rules.
You know what? Listen, you know what? First of all, this is my show. Follow me. Okay. I'm not following you. Follow me. Okay. Stinger. Okay. So anyway, if I was rudely interrupted by the man who wants restore, and if you're out there, Restore, we have a client, and it's not just for, you know.
You've already seen the photo.
You already seen the photo, yeah. It's in the bubble up. It's in the bubble up folder. You'll see John in the bubble up folder. But anyway, if I was really interrupted, I look at the greatest shots in general. That's up there. That has to be, in my opinion, one of the greatest shots I've ever seen, because of the fact that it was in a high pressure moment. They had to go full court. He had to get the ball with 3.5 seconds, I think. And he had to turn up court and get to half court and get a shot off in a second. And just the speed of that kid and how he did it. And he knew it went in. It was like a walk-off. He like shot it and started running towards before it even went in. He was already going to the scorer's table to jump on and do his Dwayne Wade moment, Kobe moment.
Yeah.
But that kid made some incredible plays in that game down the stretch.
He's gonna be a hell of a pro too.
He's got that DNA, man. He's got that it. I mean, he had a huge block that would have been 2 points, and it probably could have put UCLA up, you know, like 8 points. He blocked it. Then he got the save, and then hit a freaking half court skip pass to Timmy.
Yeah, it was nice. Timmy.
And Timmy had the layup and a dunk, and it was an awesome play.
Timmy, what's your favorite NCAA shot or moment?
Well, that took it for me. I mean, that was the best game I've ever watched, and not only that, it kept my second chance bracket perfect.
It's always about you, right? Always about the bracket.
Yeah, because I was doing so poorly. I was shocked.
Selfish guy.
I took some risks on that second chance bracket. And for tonight, I have Baylor winning by 3. I think I got 67-70.
I think Baylor's going to beat them by more than that.
I do too.
I'm sure that game took a lot out of
him. I had
that
to take the
overtime
chance
win.
and bring it down. Defensive struggle for the
I
final.
tell you, man, because I think Baylor has a chance because their bigs are really good. You know, they can score in the post. UCLA really didn't have their bigs played above what they normally play. You know, they hit shots that they normally don't hit. Baylor's bigs can play. They'll attack the glass. They can post up. They can score. Timmy really struggled against athletic bigs in that game, you know, in UCLA. And they're not really known for their big guys. It's more their forwards. Zhang played out outstanding. The other kid, Jacques, whatever his name is, the number 4. The kid was like Jaquez, man. He was nice. I mean, he was dunking on people. I was like, wow, this is a nice forward. But tonight is going to be a different animal because not only are their bigs athletic, the whole team is athletic. And they're going to be able to get after guys. And I think the key for Gonzaga, it won't be Suggs and it won't be, you know, Timmy. It was a Kispert.
Right.
Can he come to play and knock some shots down?
Yeah, he was shooting it flat in that second half.
And because they were not leaving him open. I mean, they really give UCLA credit. They should have won that game because I honestly believe that had it went to overtime, I think UCLA would have won because I think Timmy would have fouled out because he had 4 fouls. He's lucky he didn't foul out in regulation on that charge. It easily could have went the other way. So that was a big play for Gonzaga. But I thought if they went to overtime, I thought UCLA was going to win.
And that path for UCLA, I mean, Mark, I mean, that's from being Michigan State and then moving through the
they could have got knocked out the first night. They were down 5 with like a minute to go, and they won that game in overtime.
They were down in a lot of games during the tournament, but they found a way to win. I tell you what, they were hard nosed. It looked like, and I've been following Cronin since he was at Cincinnati. It looked like a Cincinnati team.
They're tough,
real tough, hard nosed. You know, they have just enough, you know, star power, but they just play hard. You know, they play extremely hard. Juzang showed me something. I was like,
special.
I tell you what, not only can he shoot the ball, he can put the ball on the floor. He had a couple of turnovers that hurt him, you know, when he got double teamed and you know, he's spinning out of a double team and, you know, Suggs came in and ripped him a couple of times. So, but UCLA honestly should have won that game because I think they were favored double digits, like 14 or 15 points. I think Gonzaga was favored. And I didn't think it was going to be that big of a blowout. I thought it was going to be really close because UCLA is tough. They're tough-minded. They got a tough coach. They rebound the basketball. I like that little guard, Tiger Campbell. Tiger Campbell. I like him. And they made shots. If you make shots in the NCAA tournament, guard play is the most important in the NCAA tournament. Your guards have to be good. If your guards are sporadic and they turn the ball over, you're not going to go far in the tournament. So tonight you're going to be paying attention to guard play because the kid from Baylor, Mitchell, is a very good guard.
Jared Butler's really good too.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game.
Stinger, what do you got for your favorite NCAA shot or moment?
I mean, I just remember Jimmy V, you know, the alley-oop. And I remember watching Leitner and how incredible that was. And I was in the truck the other night. We were doing a game and I was following and all of a sudden our camera guy in Sacramento just tilted down or he tilted up to the scoreboard and there was the game because I saw that it was 90-88 and it was 90. And then all of a sudden there's the game right in my monitor. And I saw that whole thing unfold. So it was so cool. I was just like, oh my God, it was unbelievable. And I just want to say, because I think I can get this show out before 8:40. And somebody asked me earlier, the over-under is 159. Does that seem a little high to you guys?
For Gonzaga?
No, don't score a lot of points.
Yeah, the over-under. Yeah, you think it's going to be over 159?
That's a lot of points.
I don't think so.
I
don't think so. I think Baylor's defense, because you know Baylor's defense is really good. They really manhandled Houston. I was really surprised by that. You know, the way they shut them down and their best players got shut down. That was a really good defensive effort. And plus, remember this now. These were the 2 best teams all year long. They were supposed to play at one point. And then the COVID restrictions, canceled that game. Yeah. And so they were trying to reschedule it. They were trying to find an open date in each other's schedule to play. So they never really got to play. So these are, college basketball's number 1 and 1A teams, So tonight, the championship game will be decided by the 2 best teams. So I think that's going to be fun for fans. And, this whole COVID tournament, it's amazing that they were able to get it in. The women's and the men's. It's amazing that they were able to get in. So you got to give credit to the NCAA and all the people who worked the tournament. to make sure, that they were able to get everybody in and no one got sick and, were able to, finish it out.
I loved watching Jalen Suggs, but I still go back to Enrique because she did that twice.
Big time shot maker, no question about
sorry,
it.
Jalen.
I was going to say which Leitner shot.
See if he can put up 2 at the buzzer tonight.
Leitner should have been a foul though. He stepped on the dude's chest. He should have been ejected from the game. That would have never happened. Someone's going to throw that out there. People forget about that.
Yeah, so many great moments in NCAA tournament history. I remember the game in '85 when Villanova shot 77% from the field and knocked off a Georgetown team that was heavily favored. My favorite, obviously, for local reasons, was the 1977 title game. It was Al McGuire's last year at Marquette. He had announced during the season this was going to be his last year, and the team really struggled down the stretch. They lost a few games. People are wondering, would they even get a bid to go to the NCAA tournament? They got a couple of wins along the way, which were kind of lucky, and then they got to the final and they beat Dean Smith's North Carolina team in the championship game. I had an exam the next morning at 8:30, and it was raining like hell in Milwaukee. And it's a couple of friends of mine said, "Hell with this, we're going downtown and we're celebrating." And people were marching up and down Wisconsin Avenue, which is the main street in downtown, and having a good time. So that one stands out.
Yeah, but great shots. How about Archionato? We got to go with the Chicago guy here with the assist.
Archionato, who he play for?
Who's he? Talk about Villanova.
Got Charles Barkley over here. Who he play for?
Talk about that Villanova shot. He made the assist on the full screen.
Isn't that the character in the Disney film?
Archionato.
Whatever. I'm seeing. God damn it.
I didn't know who he cut off bartender. Bartender, no more.
I think it's time to wrap up the
give me the hot sauce.
Another beer for 10 days.
Nobody knows
the bar is still open
I am
at the Nautilus Medical Group.
Archionato, baby.
Wasn't that the parent in one of the Disney movies?
Yeah. You guys remember Devin Hester is at 23.
Okay. Archionato.
As Timmy Whispers bitterly trudges off into the sunset. We want to thank Chaz Ortiz for joining us. Wish him well as he tries to make the Olympic team. Stacey, bring us home. The GOAT episode is in the books.
Call Uber for Timmy Whispers because, hey, Archionato says, drive home safely, Chicago. Beep, beep. Archionato. Wow.
Sometimes just comes out wrong.
Oh, my God. I was like, who is he talking about?
I knew it when I said it. I'm like, oh, shit. Here we go.
He knew it when he said it.
I'm thinking that. I'm trying to.